Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news in the NBA right now involving CP3, Chris Paul. It is going down. Listen, the Phoenix Suns have notified CP3 that they are moving on. This is crazy. They have released Chris Paul. They are waiving him after 3 seasons. This is breaking. Obviously, Coach Frank Vogel, he was just announced yesterday. It was so crazy because I was about to report on that, and now the dominoes are falling. It's Flight Sports TV. Make sure you subscribe for more Phoenix Suns news, updates, and more. We are gonna be watching CP3, pardon me, on what happens, because now he is a free agent, and July is starting to pick up steam. Ladies and gentlemen, we already have our first look at a possible scenario of, we're gonna get into it, because Chris Paul will be a hot commodity being a free agent, CP3, man, is headed for free agency. The Phoenix Suns opted to waive CP3 on Wednesday, which is today. According to Chris Haynes, the move will officially make Chris Paul a free agent this offseason. This is crazy, y'all. This is, like I said, I wonder, you knew that the Suns needed to do something, but we're going to get into that. Paul spent, obviously, 3 seasons, and he definitely propelled them. He averaged 13.9 points per game, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. This was all last season, helping the team to the Western Conference semifinals for 2 years in a row. Paul had 2 years left on his 4-year, $120 million deal with the franchise. The Suns were knocked out of the playoffs by the Denver Nuggets. However, the franchise opted to fire Coach Monty Williams. The team opted to hire former Los Angeles Lakers coach Frank Vogel to replace him earlier this month. And like I said, we are still feeling the remnants of that. Now it's like Kevin Durant and crew, Booker, it's time to it's them two, which you already knew that's how they was moving, because when you heard Coach Frank Vogel sit at that podium, you didn't, like I said, I didn't hear much Paul talk. I heard a lot of talk of, I came here of obviously the players we had, Booker and KD. That's what I was hearing, Booker and KD. I didn't hear Booker, KD, and CP3. We knew this was a possibility, but we didn't know if it was going to go down, how it was going to go down. But evidently, it has went down. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. CP3, this is breaking, Now, to be honest with you, we could open up the Pandora's box in terms of where he will be headed, and I do believe that, a lot of teams open up. What about Boston? What about, the Lakers? I mean, bottom line, Chris Paul has a shot at an NBA title again. Maybe at a different role. Is it time for CP3 to take a step back? Is he looking for a starting role? I think that he could start on a couple of teams if he go, because his talent it warrants that. He's a great regular season player. He just got to slow down a little bit, in my opinion. He presses up a lot in the regular season, and come postseason time, he's nowhere to be found due to injuries. You understand? He can't hold up. He's getting older and older. I think he needs to think about in a situation to, if not coming off the bench, definitely receiving less minutes, be playing on a minutes restriction in the regular season at least, because you have to get Chris Paul to the playoffs where he can be most effective. That's the problem here. In Phoenix, is too much run and gun. They play very fast. There's a frenetic pace up there. And obviously they want to go younger. You've seen it. With Chris Paul being out again, not being there when the team needed him. It's just too many events of Chris Paul's career where he's unavailable for the basketball team. And, we seen it in Houston. They was headed to possibly the NBA Finals, and he was unavailable against the Golden State Warriors. And now he was unavailable against the Denver Nuggets. And like I said, Phoenix tried to push him. If they would have had CP3, they needed something from Murray. Murray was just violating. Chris Paul needed to be there, to counter some of that, if not downright match it, so it hurts. You knew he was going to take a fall for this, you know, not being there. Monty Williams is gone, ladies and gentlemen. Monty Williams and CP3, you knew it was a connection there between them two. Hell, Chris Paul wanted to come there due to Monty Williams, you know. That connection was there, you know. So now they both are departed. Now it's time for the Valley to go with their two stars in Kevin Durant Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, excuse me. Now, what can they do? You know, is the question. The West is nothing but getting harder. Teams are going to make moves. You see, Chris Paul is going to be on the line of many free agents. He will not be the top point guard target. You know, you have Kyrie Irving out there. I understand Kyrie talking all this Dallas talk and the things like that. I honestly think he playing a little damage control. You know, the race to LA is ensued, because everybody wants to get down there. And look out for South Beach, you know, Miami. Teams are going to be active. Somebody is going to land Chris Paul. Somebody is going to land Kyrie Irving. How much money is Chris Paul going to be looking for? You know, now that this has happened to him, it's going to be the $1 million question. What kind of money is CP3 actually looking for? You know, but nonetheless, man, everybody is reporting this, man. But Chris Paul hasn't announced that. He said Chris Paul plans to play several more years and look to join a contending team. So this is the reports, you know. So he wants to play for a contender, you know. So you know what that means. So right now I'm giving things in real time. Things is popping off. I'm letting everybody know. So make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on what's happening, you know. But he's a Hall of Famer, you know. We got to keep it 100, top 75. You know, he's the truth and a half. He just don't got that championship. I think that guys like Carmelo, obviously, he just announced his retirement. It would have been good to see him win a ring. It's gonna be Chris Paul is at the end. Even though it says he wants to play several more years for a contender, I think when you're talking about playing for a contender, you ready to take any role that they ready to give in order to win. So I think he would be open to a bench role depending on who would be the starter. I think if he goes to Miami, I think he's the starter. I think if he goes to LA, he's the starter. If he goes to Boston, he's the starter, depending on what happens with Brogdon and things like that. Who knows about Milwaukee? You know, I don't think Chris Paul is going to be looking for a max deal. You know, he's looking to play for a contending team. So I think if a contending team could put together a respectable package for him, I think they could get the services of Chris Paul, you know. But nonetheless, man, he has been waived. Devin Booker and crew, you know, it's time, man. These two electrifying scorers, what can they do under Coach Frankie V? You know, obviously we remember him from the chip in LA, but don't forget about his Pacer days. It's Flight Sports TV. Breaking news, CP3 is up out of there. We getting out of here.